Tether account. Your Tether account is at no additional cost to you. If you're a member of ours, you can register. You don't need to add your credit card information. It comes with 12 complimentary lookups. It has a lot of great features. If you have any questions, you can reach out to any of us. I would also say please open your emails that come on Monday and Friday. It has a ton of great information, links to upcoming events, current news, information on what's going on with City Council. And we have Lexi on the call. Please feel free to reach out to her or I with any questions there. So I will leave it to Jake and David to get us started on all things presidents.
All things presidents. I like that.
Yeah.
Good morning,
Good morning.
David. Thank you, Kate. Thank you, GPAR membership, for being with us today. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to have this conversation. Um, Thank you for being with us for Coffee Talk. Coffee Talks are recorded and will be added to our YouTube channel for members to watch when it's convenient. So this session is going to reach a lot of our Philadelphia realtors and beyond.
Great.
But to start us off, David, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into real estate, your career?
Well, first, thank you for having me. Thank you, folks, for being here. Well, I am a born and raised Pittsburgher. Um, I was born in the North Hills part of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I some of you know if you follow me on Facebook, I'm a cat dad. I'm proud to say that I'm a huge cat fan. And when I'm not helping cats, I'm actually selling and helping people find a home that they call their forever ever home. I got started in this business, surprisingly enough, when I was working with an agent, and I saw how she conducted herself and how the transaction went. And I thought, you know what? This might not be this actually might be a really cool thing to actually do. And so I talked to her about it, and she explained to me all the aspects of it. I went to school, and when I graduated, I ended up working for the office that she was in, and she was my mentor for quite a few years. And I will have to say that my decision to be a part of the real estate industry has been the best decision I've made in my life. It has afforded me many opportunities, and it's also afforded me the opportunity to meet people like you right now.
Yeah, I appreciate. How long have you been in the business?
It's going on 21 years.
Okay, cool. I'm a little bit behind you. I'm only 16 years this April. So
Oh, congratulations.
yeah. Um, can you tell us about how you got started as a volunteer? How you got involved at PAR? I remember your campaign to be president fondly. Um, so yeah, can you just talk about your experience in volunteering and getting involved locally and then moving on up?
Sure. Well, my story is it might be a little different than most. I was about 5 years into my career, and I started to ask myself, is there something else that I can do in a, in addition to selling houses? And so I remember getting an email from my local association, and it basically said, "Would you like to?" I forgot. It said something like, "Would you like to be a part of something bigger than yourself?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, sure." So I so I clicked the button, and it told me about all these wonderful things that were going on in this organization called PAR. And so I clicked the button, and I saw all these things, and I thought, oh, maybe I'll go to PAR and see what this is all about. Most people start at their local and then go to the state. I went to the state and then went to the local. What happened was I decided that I was going to attend this meeting called the DEI committee, and it met at 9 o'clock in the morning. So that meant that I had to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning to get on the road and drive to make sure that I got there at the DEI meeting in time. And when I did, I got in the room and I sat down. And as soon as the meeting was over, I got in my car and I drove home. And I did that for like 3 business meetings. And somebody, I forget who it was, came up to me and said, "Who are you?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm so and so." And they were like, "Have you ever thought about joining PAR?" And I said, "Well, I kind of am." And then they said, "No, would you like to be a part of PAR?" And I said, "Sure." And they go, "Do you belong to your local?" And I'm like, "No, not really." And so I had to be introduced to my local through the state. So my story is a lot different than most people on this call, where I know you start locally and then move your way up. I sort of went to the at least to the state to the top, and then I worked my way down. I have a hard time with directions, so but in
Hey,
the end, it all
carve your own path, right? I mean,
exactly. I
yeah,
charted my own path. Yeah.
yeah, for sure. Um, So, for those who don't know, as PAR leadership, you start as treasurer, you move up the ladder over the last, I guess, 4 years, but now is your year as president. Can you tell us a little bit about your time as president and what what it looks like, what role you play with local associations, and how's it going as president?
Well, I will say that there are 2 things that really stick out so far during my term. The first one is, you never really know just how important the staff is until you move up into leadership. I cannot tell you how many times the staff has been there and sometimes even saved me, um, and has really supported me. But also, it's wonderful to see how dedicated not only the PAR staff is, but also staffs through the local associations throughout our state. That is probably the one thing about being president that I enjoy the most, is traveling throughout the state and getting to meet people, local association executives, line officers, and our grassroots membership. It's an opportunity for me to really to engage, but I really enjoy traveling, just getting in the car and driving through all the multifaceted terrains that Pennsylvania has to offer. Some of them I didn't know existed, and I was excited to discover them. Like I didn't know that there was something called the Pennsylvania Grand Canyon, and sure enough, I found that. And then I found this little place called Jim Thorpe, PA, and
Jim
I
Thorpe's
was
adorable.
oh, I couldn't
Watch
believe it. Yeah, I
Watch
couldn't.
them.
Yeah, there's a little business called the Silly Goose, and I've been following it on Facebook, and I went in there and I was like, this is really cool, but it's the it's my it's my role as state president to hear you, the folks on the ground, and to be able to hear your stories and take them back to the state, because we really do hear you when you speak and when you have a concern. And the leadership, that the team that I have, is a really diverse group of folks that really represent what I call the rainbow of Pennsylvania. And I have really enjoyed working with them. And every single one of them brings a different perspective to the table. And I like to say that we're a team, and that one person doesn't lead, we lead by consensus.
That's great. Um, for those who don't know, David is a Mr. Rogers, acolyte, and is wearing his Mr. Rogers sweater. Can you talk about the Good Neighbor campaign? I mean, your speech at your inauguration was beautiful. Can you speak a little bit about um, what it means to be a good neighbor?
Sure. Thank you. Well, as you know, I had there no speech or little skit is complete unless there is a wardrobe malfunction. And my wardrobe malfunction was, of course, I couldn't zip up the sweater while I had put on my shoes. I was reenacting the opening scene from Mr. Rogers when he comes in and he changes his shoes and he puts on the sweater. And I thought, oh, I have everything down pat. And then I go to zip up this red sweater and it wouldn't zip up. And I was like, oh, wow. Okay. So I had the very good fortune as a child to meet Mr. Rogers. And I won't go into the long story of it, but I met him at a time in my life when I really needed that guidance that he gave to everybody in the country. Um, Not only did I meet him once, but after that initial meet, I began to meet him several other times and his wife. And the impact that he made on my life was immense. Um, he was so iconic for so many reasons, and he's loved by everybody in his hometown of Pittsburgh. So I thought maybe we need to be more like him because he made a lasting impact on our community. So I believe that many realtors are already doing good things in their communities. In fact, an NAR survey shows that nearly 70% of members say that they volunteer at least 8 hours a month. And PAR, as you know, has been highlighting some of those realtors in our just listed articles. I also think that we can all do more by supporting the Realtor Relief Foundation, which helps people throughout our country who have experienced natural disasters. Some of you may know that our local associations support local charities like food banks. Some of them sponsor fundraising events for those charities. Last year alone, and this is amazing, local associations participating in PAR's Realtor Reach Out Month raised more than $63,000, collected for Thanksgiving food drives, gathered winter coats and hats, and volunteered at a variety of charities because that's who we are. But more than that, I consider advocating for homeownership and homeowners at the local, state, and national level is another way we are being good neighbors. So if you remember, PAR's Realtor Day on the Hill is coming up in June, and NAR's legislative meetings in Washington, D.C. as well. We do this to advocate and advance change. And just some of the things that we've changed, we passed the important legislation due to our efforts, as some of you know, the 1031 like-kind exchange, the wholesaling legislation, both in Philadelphia and at the state level, and one that I am particularly pleased with, and I know some people will roll their eyes. It's something that I usually bring up every PAR business meeting, and that is the passage of the private roadway maintenance agreement. All of those were advanced by folks like you. And I also feel that by helping our neighbors achieve the dream of homeownership and navigate the process with them is another way to be a good neighbor as well. We can be better neighbors for our clients by educating ourselves about fair housing through NAR's online Fair Haven program. And lastly, taking advantage of the C2EX program.
Yeah, private roadways aren't one of those things that we have to deal with too much in Philadelphia,
Oh,
but
you don't?
not, I'll never forget my very first PAR meetings. I sat in a legislative meeting and listened to somebody just go on and on about, it might have even been private roadways, but, something involving part of the state that like it's just not a Philadelphia issue. Like I've never had to think about that, which again goes back to being a good neighbor, right? That's the purpose of the association is that as a
Yeah.
as a as a statewide association, we can get things done for everybody. Um, what are some of your goals and initiatives as president? Any current task force or work groups that you want to mention or share? Things in the works?
Well, as you know, PAR is focused on its strat plan, and many of the task forces that are currently working are as a result of that strat plan. So I'll give you a couple here. So, for example, the Education and Risk Reduction Task Force is currently assessing whether PAR should expand its educational programming beyond current offerings. That will include whether to develop and or promote a risk reduction curriculum to help reduce legal risks to agents and brokers. That's
Who's
currently
the
go.
chair of that task force, David?
Oh, I have no idea. It's
I
it's
just
this.
curveball at you, David. I am the chair of that task force.
Oh, I know. That's why I was trying to come up with a good lead, and then
Got
you
it.
just took it. So I was good. Yeah, you're right. So
Sorry.
your very own Jake is,
Yeah.
of course, the chair of that, and we are excited to see what comes out of that task force. We also have the Volunteer Leadership Development Task Force, which will be submitting recommendations on how PAR can support the growth and development of our volunteer leadership pipeline, with an emphasis on adding resources for local associations' leadership development. And for some of you folks who do commercial, the Commercial Forms Task Force has been working on their first group of forms, which should be ready later this spring. Should be coming up rather soon, actually. And we'll be looking for feedback on the drafts. And those are just a few of the groups working currently at PAR at this time.
Yeah, I serve on standard forms at the state as well, and I'm excited to see what the commercial folks come up with. I think it's been several years coming.
So are we. We're very excited.
Um, can you tell our viewers, just a little bit about what PAR does for them and what that looks like? I know you spoke a little bit about the legislative, but the importance of membership and
Sure. No.
yeah.
Well, Jake, you've already sort of let the cat out of the bag, so to speak, because one of the biggest benefits and one of the importance of membership with PAR is the standard forms. We have our PAR standard forms. We have committees and task forces and legal staff who continually work on keeping these forms updated and reflective of our changing industry so that we as members have the most comprehensive forms. And if you've had the opportunity to attend PAR Standard Forms Forum and Standard Forms, you will see the passion and the expertise in those rooms. And I have to hand it to you. Um, our standard forms are second to none, hands down. And because of the efforts of people like Jake and others at PAR, I can say that with a great deal of confidence. We also know that the other thing that we offer that people love is the PAR legal hotline. If you haven't had the opportunity to use the PAR legal hotline, I guess that could be seen as a good thing. But if you do need to use it, Hank and his team of 4 in-house attorneys answer the hotline every week, and they provide information to our members relating to anything that involves their transaction or anything in real estate in general. And I'd also like to encourage that members also take advantage of PAR's monthly webinar series that feature great guest speakers as well as our legal team. For example, I'll give you an example. The one that I was most excited to host, which the one on the appraisal industry with Michelle Bradley. Michelle Bradley is probably one of the most experienced appraisers in the state, and her expertise and her experience in the appraisal industry and her explanation of the changes that are coming up has made that particular webinar one of our most popular. We will also be talking with Craig Grant on May 26th about the best uses of AI and Chat GPT for our industry. And of course, lastly, as I mentioned, PAR's advocacy team and the legislative committee work tirelessly to help advance legislation that's beneficial for homeowners and private property rights. I actually see Jack here in the room here. You have somebody here on the Philly side who is a tireless advocate on behalf of the industry, and I have seen him championing PAR and the local association, and because of his hard work and the hard work of many folks throughout the state, you can be assured that our industry is in good hands. Remember that the real estate industry is important to the Commonwealth. The industry accounted for more than $162 billion, or 16% of the gross state product in 2024.
It's wild.
Yeah, that's big.
That's pretty big. Yeah,
It's huge.
It's kind of important, and it does. I mean, it does seem like, I mean, the work that PAR does with the state, with the capital, to nail that home, is very impressive. There's a strong working relationship there with legislators and leadership on the
Exactly.
Hill. So committee applications for 2027 are open. We will drop that application link in the chat box for anybody who's interested in getting involved. And if you have more questions about what that actually looks like, we can take that offline. But can you explain to members what opportunities are available for them? What does a commitment look like? And what's the impact of, local involvement at the state?
So PAR is accepting applications to serve on our 2027 year committees. We have about 17 committees that folks can volunteer to serve on. Now, there's a description of these committees on the PAR website, and they include, as I've stated previously, Standard Forms Committee and the Feedback Panel, the Legislative Committee, the Pro Standards Committee, the DEI Committee, and the Finance Committee are just one of many. Now, remember that our committees meet during the PAR business meetings. Now, those occur 3 times a year in Harrisburg. Now, other committees like legislative and sometimes even standard forms will meet more times than that, and they will usually be offline on Zoom in a forum pretty much the way we have right now. You can also get involved on task forces and work groups, and that is just by merely pulling somebody aside or writing to one of us line officers stating that you have an interest in a particular area. And when one of those task forces or work groups comes up that focuses on something that you have a passion for, we will more than likely assign you to those groups. And those groups meet as often as they are required. Now, any one of you that are interested in volunteering, as Jake just said, you can complete the application form online. And I know that you'll be posting the actual link. I'll just say this: I think you'll find that folks who are involved in the decision making process, you folks have a tremendous impact on our industry. And I also know that the folks who volunteer learn a great deal about the industry while networking with other folks from across the state. I will say that I have found that my involvement at the state has not only greatly helped my own personal business, but it's also helped the businesses of folks like you across the state. And the friendships that I have made over the years. I think I've been going to PAR now for about, I want to say 15 years now. Yeah, yes. 15 years have been some of the most amazing experiences, and the friendships that I have will certainly and have lasted quite a long time. So I really encourage you, if you have any interest at all, to think about filling out an application. But I also want to say that all volunteerism starts locally. So please remember your local association, that's where it begins. And then you move, if you want to, you move up to the state. And then if you really want to move up, you can move up to the national. But please, please remember, your local association is the heartbeat of the state.
It's true.
It is.
It's sort of, the three tiers,
Oh, yeah.
but it's real. Um, cool. So, I mean, we're sort of wrapping things up here, going quickly. But is there one thing you can leave us with? To look forward to this year.
Well, aside from the prepared remark that I have here in front of me, I do want to say that this is the year, folks. I want to stress that this is an important year for us to really focus on being kind to everybody. And I know that I know that sounds corny sometimes, and it sounds kind of schmaltzy, but especially now in the climate, in the environment that we're in right now, being a good neighbor to everybody is going to be important more than ever. And I hope that you will take the opportunity to help those around you, support those around you, and also see how you can make a difference in your community. I believe that we're starting to see a stabilization of our housing market. I believe in the past several months, our state housing reports show inventory has slowly increased, which gives our clients more homes to choose from. The state's median sales price has remained stable with small increases, which provides more affordable options for our clients. For those who own a home, they've enjoyed an increased equity in their investment, which helps them build familial wealth. And we're seeing that more elected officials are recognizing that housing needs to be a priority. and our associations look forward to working with them. Thank you.
Thanks, David. Yeah, cool. That's all we really have for today. I don't have any other prepared questions. I really appreciate you taking the time to sit down with us and appreciate everything you do and the time you've committed and invested as a
Thank you.
volunteer. It's really important stuff, and you're doing good work, and it's truly appreciated. So
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. I will be, as I told Jake, I will be in the Philadelphia area next week. And I look forward to my time there. And I hope to see all of you at PAR. Thank you.
yeah, I'm missing the June meetings.
Oh,
Yeah, I know. I was like, I'll see you in June, but I won't see you in June. I have a conflict. But
okay.
Kate, do
We'll
you
see you,
have
David.
Thanks,
I
Kate.
guess
Thank you so
I
much.
could open it up. I mean, does anybody
Yeah,
on
if you have any questions, I mean,
does anybody have any questions? Any feedback?
Uh, President Jake, just have a question about where David will be appearing next week in Philly.
Do you have any public appearances? I know what are your plans
the
in Philadelphia next week?
well, I don't need any particular plans to go when I go to Philadelphia because it's a great town. I had to plug that. I had to plug that one in. Yeah, trust. But no, the Pennsylvania Human Relations Commission is hosting a housing equity conference, and I have been asked to be a moderator for a panel of different organizations throughout the state, and our talk will be about fair housing and the issues currently facing fair housing that we're seeing in today's marketplace. So,
Yeah, so that registration is in the association news. The event doesn't cost anything extra. It's right in Philadelphia. I don't think it's been in Philadelphia for some time, so that's really an exciting opportunity. It does go for the day. I don't know that you need to stay for it all, but you could see David and some other great conversations on the topic during Fair Housing Month. Oh, there we go. Thank you, Kim. Doubletree by Hilton on April 23rd.
see, that's staff. I knew it.
She got it before I could. I was looking for it.
That's Kim Smith.
Yeah.
That's what I told you. Staff everywhere. Local, state, top.
They make us.
They make me look good, and boy, that's a lot. That's a lot of work. Trust me.
David, I think you're great. I love your message, especially this year. It's so timely, and I think it builds consensus. It's hard to move away from a message of kindness and inclusion. So thank you for bringing that all over the state. It's really important.
Thank you.
I do see a note. Kathy Krebs, the president of the Women's Council, will also be speaking at that same event. So a lot of great great leaders in our community will be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool. Well, if there isn't anything else, GPAR, thank you. David, thank you. And yeah, we'll I'm sure we cross some paths soon. So
all right.
Yes, see you soon.
Thank you, folks.
Thanks, everybody.